Sometimes sequels to movies are unnecessary, but here are 10 movies I think could benefit from sequels, or in the case of where there are only 2 movies, a third entry. Number 10, Alita Battle Angel. I love this movie, but a huge problem with it was it did jump around with a lot of plot points. It spent too much time trying to set up future movies, so I think if they did a sequel, it should stick with 1 or 2 stories and be a little bit more self-contained. The world of the film is such a creative world to explore, and I would love to return to it. Just have a bit of a more linear story in the sequel. Number 9, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, or just Valerian. This was another movie that did jump around a lot, but it has really good world building. It has interesting character designs. It feels like a classic sci-fi movie from like the 1950s, which is kind of what they were going for. This is such a fantastic world to live in, and I would love to return to it. Number 8, Gremlins 3. It's been over 30 years since the last Gremlins movie. I envision this as a next-generation type movie where Billy and Kate have a teenager now, and maybe the teenager finds Gizmo and hijinks ensue. I just want everyone back for one last sequel. Number 7, Tron 3. There's so many plot threads that need wrapping up. What happened to Clue and Jeff Bridges' character? How does Cora react to being in the real world? Does Encom explore online gaming? How does this new influx of players affect the world of Tron? Is the character of Tron alive? There's so many possibilities you could explore with this. Number 6, Megamind. With superhero movies being even more popular than ever, even when this movie came out in 2010, there's a lot you can do. There's a lot you can satirize. Are there more supers out there? What does Megamind do now that he's a new hero? There's a lot you can poke fun at since the world of superhero movies has drastically evolved since 10 years ago. Number 5, Monsters vs. Aliens. This has so much potential for a sequel. More aliens, more monsters. I would love to see this continue as a Men in Black meets Monster Squad type series. Number 4, Cirque Du Freak. This movie built up and built up and built up, and then ended. And since there's a whole series of books, I want to see more of this story of this vampire war. Now, it's not very likely that they would continue this on as a movie since it came out way back in like 2009, and everyone's a lot older now. Maybe do a reboot or continuation as a TV series like they did with Lemony Snicket. Number 3, Assassin's Creed. Right as this movie got really interesting, it ended. And with a whole series of games, there's a lot to explore. This is one of the few video game movies that I actually liked and was really invested in, so I would love to see them continue on with more Assassin's Creed movies, even though it's not very likely. Number 2, another Muppets movie. Go with a more original plot. Go absolutely bonkers and wild. As much as I love these new series of Muppets movies, they kind of feel like they're borrowing too much from previous entries. The first Muppets movie from 2011 was basically a modernized remake of the Muppet movie. Muppets Most Wanted, that was a more modernized remake of The Great Muppet Caper. So don't do Muppets Take Manhattan, don't do Muppet Treasure Island, don't do any of those. Go with an original story, go with an original plot. Heck, it doesn't even have to be Muppets 3, just do a Muppet movie that you can poke fun at the classic literature that's in the public domain like they did for Wizard of Oz. I just want to see the Muppets on the big screen again. But the number 1 movie I think needs a sequel is Prince of Egypt. This movie ends with Moses bringing down the 10 Commandments from Mount Sinai, and well, we all know what happens after that. The Israelites are worshipping a golden calf, they get stuck in the desert for 40 years, explore that, and then do a third one about Joshua. But hey, I may be biased, and if you don't get that joke, look at my channel then. So there you go, there are 10 movies that I think could benefit from sequels. Some of you know what you think deserves second or third entries, or maybe even fourth entries if there's a case where maybe one of the sequels wasn't very good, and if they did another one, they could fix it as damage control. So let me know your thoughts on what sequels you want, and I will see you next time.